started because you guys know how much we had to do and how many times we had to rotate around. I don't want us to hold your questions to the end. A few things I'm going to ask you to do. One thing I'm going to ask you to do is make sure that you stay on your bottoms. Make sure your legs are crisscrossed so that you're in no one else's space. Finally, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you hold. I know you have a lot of important things on your brain and on your mind that you really want to express, but please make sure you hold them in your head because I have something to tell you, okay? All right. I am Miss Liggett. I teach 3rd grade all the way up on the 3rd floor, all the way upstairs. But today, I am pretending to be Ida B. Wells. Okay, so I'm like an actress today. This is not really me, but I'm pretending to be who this person is, Ida B. Wells. So I'm going to share with you her story. So listen carefully because I may ask you questions in the end. I am Ida B. Wells. If I was to describe myself, I would say that I am brave, I would say that I'm courageous, and I would say that I'm strong. I stood up for myself. I not only stood up for myself, but I stood up for others. Let me tell you a little bit about my life. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and I had a loving family. I had a mother and a father, and I had 5 brothers and sisters. Unfortunately, my parents passed away. That means they died when I was 16 years old. So that left me alone to take care of my brothers and my sisters. Well, I had to get a job. So since I had to get a job, I took a job as a teacher. I took a job as a teacher because I love to learn, I love to write, and I love to read. So that is what I did for a little while. Let me tell you a little bit about the time that I lived in. The time that I lived in, everybody was not treated equally. We were treated differently because of the color of our skin. If I was this color, there were many things that I could not do just because I was the color that I am. And that's not something that I could help. One day, I went traveling on a train. And I went and I sat down on the train, and everybody was looking at me. They were looking at me in an odd way, like I should not be there. But I ignored them because my name is Ida B. Wells, and I don't pay attention to things like that. But eventually, 2 men came, and they asked me to leave my seat. I did not leave my seat. I decided that I would stay there because I was fighting for what was right. Eventually, 2 men came and they made me. They escorted me off and they made me get off of the train. And since they made me get off the train, I was very upset. I was very disappointed and I felt really bad. I felt bad that I wasn't treated the way everybody else was treated. So that really infuriated me. I decided to research and research and research, and I decided to sue the railroad company. I sued the railroad company because they were not treating me right. I sued the railroad company and I won. That was very rare for that time. Since I was so upset about this, I wanted to make sure that all other African Americans knew their rights and that they knew the law. What I did is I decided to start writing. So I opened up my own newspaper business and I started writing, teaching African Americans about the laws and teaching them what their rights were. Well, there were people that liked what I said and there were people that did not like what I said. Well, the people that didn't like what I said, that crowd grew larger and larger and larger to the point where they were very angry with me. They were so angry with me, they came in my shop and they destroyed everything. They destroyed my typewriter, my papers, everything that I'd worked so hard for. I was actually scared that they were going to hurt me. So I decided to take up my belongings and I moved to another country. I moved to another country because other countries didn't have the same laws as we did at the time. So I moved to England. I didn't really like England. I mean, it was a beautiful place, but it was not my home. So I stayed there for a little while, and later on, I moved to Chicago, Illinois. Raise your hand if you've been to Chicago, Illinois. Yes. So I moved to Chicago, Illinois, and that was a new start for me. It was there that I met my husband, and I started a new newspaper. It was there that I formed a women's group to teach African American ladies that they have rights too, and that they can fight for what's right. Well, during that time, there was a civil rights movement going on, and also there was women's rights going on. And so we heard about this big march that was going to take place in Washington, D.C. That's where our president is. We heard about that taking place, and we decided that we were going to go down to Washington, D.C. to march with all of these women for women's rights. But when we got there, they said that we couldn't march underneath the Illinois banner. They said that we can't march with everyone else. Why do you think they said that? Why do you think they said that? Yes, very good. Because of the color of our skin, they wouldn't let us march with everyone else. They said you can march, but you can march in the back. You have to march behind everyone else. Of course, that didn't make me feel good. And because I was brave and I was courageous, I said, oh no, I am going to march with everybody. We are all in this together, and we should be allowed to march together. Thankfully, I had 2 friends that were white friends, and they were different color than I am. And they agreed to stand up with me and to fight with me. So I was able to walk with them, and we walked together. So that just proves how strong and how brave I really was. So I just want you to remember, if you forget everything else, please remember that it's always right to fight for what's right. Stand up for the right things. And that's what Ida B. Wells was all about. That's the end of my presentation. And I have a couple questions for you, or at least you can tell me what you remember. Go ahead, sweetheart. Say it again. Yeah, very good. He said that he remembers that she couldn't march. They said that she couldn't march with the other people that were a different color than what she was. Very good. And is that right or wrong? That's wrong, actually, that they didn't let her do that. Okay? Yes?
You went to England, then you went to Chicago.
Very good. You got it. Why did she go to England? Why did she get up and go to England?
It was because that someone robbed her house and they messed up her typewriter and all her paper.
They destroyed all of her things, and she was scared, so she went there. Very good. Someone else remembers something very important. Yes?
The other people, the black people, they was trying to take their seat.
Yes, actually they didn't want her to sit on the train. They thought because of her color that she did not belong. Okay? Thank you for speaking out, sweetheart. Anybody else? Is there something else that stands out in your mind that you can remember? Yes?
Those boys kicked me off the train.
Yes, they kicked me off of that train, and that was not very nice. How would that make you feel?
That made me feel really upset.
Really upset. Very good. Thank you. Yes, we are. They were. There were. They did. And everybody was not mean in those times. There were some people that chose to stand up for what was right. Very good. They stood up for it. You're right. Good job. You guys all did an excellent job.